Alright, Joe. Let's see what I got for seeds here. I got plenty more High Moan Blend Mesclun. Old Mesclun. 28 bay leaf days to mature. 28 days. This was sealed in sell by 2022. I planted a bunch of this a couple days ago. Old leftover from my last job. Got a bunch of that. And then I got Walmart special going. I got basil, cherry baby, scarlet nantes, more burpees with the sweet peppers, the California Wonder, and some honeycomb hybrids. I like those guys, they taste good. I'm keeping them in my basement to keep them cool. And the question I keep on asking myself is, so story goes, worked a corporate job in my 20s and rented an apartment. I lived with roommates, met girlfriend, future wife. Bought a house after saving for a couple of years outside of Boston. First 4.5 years I was there, rented my basement to my friend. Saved a ton of money because I was still working at the corporate job. High 5-figure, low 6-figure income. Just low cost of living, but putting money into the house, not a ton. Living, in an old house, but it didn't need tons of stuff. And I had a 1983 boiler that was still running, so it worked good. But lived in the house for 8 years, put in a new boiler, put in another crappy layer on my roof, did a lot of paint. My wife is a woodworker, did a lot of painting, did a lot of projects she did. New floor in the kitchen, all pretty much DIY except for the roof, done by a sketchy contractor, and the boiler, of course. Got a rebate on that. So I think all the math in, it was like 40 grand that I put into the house. Then sold the house. Good profit margin. Bought in 2016, sold in 2024. So I won't get into the specifics, but if you know what's been going on in real estate, especially in Massachusetts, made a little bit of money. Got an apartment in southern New Hampshire. Rented for 9 months, and during Christmas time last year, wife found this house in Maine that I'm living in now. And as you can see, the basement is not quite finished. In fact, the house is not quite finished. But it's, it has what it needs to live. It doesn't need anything. But we're going to do some stuff. Like finish this basement, put a full bath down here, turn this. This was a workshop. You can also see his old dust collection piping. It didn't make sense for us to put our wood shop down here. So we're putting a temporary one in the garage, and then we're going to build out our pole barn and do that. We got to run power to that and build that, insulate that, put a wood stove in it, and then turn it into a wood shop. So that's a whole different thing. But second bedroom here is real small. It made a better office for my wife. And then this is going to be the exercise room, my office, library, and spare bedroom. So we wanted to put in a full bath because he had already started running some plumbing towards an outside shower, so we're just going to go ahead and put a bathroom over here near the exit piping. So pretty much you can see this corner here is going to be cornered off. Going to put a sandy flow pump down there and do a Basic shower, basic bathroom, nothing fancy. Vanity, toilet, pump, and shower. So I'm gonna wall that all in. The plumber's gonna come, run the pipes, install the sand flow, install the pump, get that all set. But then we're gonna do the ceilings. We're gonna do the floors, just stick them vinyl crap, and then we'll probably pay somebody to mud the whole thing. So, from the homesteading perspective, the question I keep asking myself is, basically, I didn't want to build a house. I'm not a house builder, and I didn't want to build. And this house fit the bill of pretty dang close to what we were looking for. The living space is just over 1,000 square feet. It's nice. It's got high ceilings. It's got, big vaulted ceiling. 2 bedrooms. One of them is an office. Good sized master bedroom. Not huge, but big walk-in closet. His and her master bath that's not connected to the bedroom, with a nice shower, which we wanted. Walk-in, glass, dueling shower heads. And then another half bath next to it, right next to it. So all the plumbing's really simple. The guy who designed this house and built it did it simply, minimalistically. It was good. Then you get your office, and then you get your living room, kitchen all in one. So no dining room. Porch on the back, spanning half of the house, ready to expand for the full back side of the house. And then big 8-foot garage door, extra wide 2-bay garage, extra deep, and then full finished basement. Radiant heating throughout with oil. Only big dig on the house is they didn't install wood heat, and I'm on 33 acres of not timbered in 100 years Maine, so I got all this wood everywhere for the rest of my life, and they didn't want to heat with it. But they did put in a second chimney, so there's one exhausting the oil boiler, and the furnace, and then there's another chimney pipe with a connection in the basement. And his idea was you'd have that as like an emergency power outage stove, so you could keep the pipes from freezing. So my idea is to go in through the wall in the living room, put in a small wood stove, and supplement the oil heat with wood. And we're also probably going to get heat pumps so we can have cooling and electric heat. So we'll have electric heat, oil heat, and some wood heat. Maybe in the basement, wood furnace someday, and do the hot water and the radiant floor heats with wood if possible. Gotta talk to a plumber about that, but lots of space in the boiler room for that. And so now that I'm here, the question I keep asking myself, especially when I see some of these people online who did like buy raw land, buy 30 acres, plop a trailer on it, and then start building your own thing and going from there, growing food, buying equipment. We spent most of the money that we made selling our house in Medford to pay for this house. So we came into it not exactly having the money for, a Kubota with an excavator on the back. Got an old ATV. Got a trailer on that for hauling wood. Put a plow on that. Picking up a John Deere $80 not running snowblower, because I can plow with the ATV, and I might, but it's a 2001 Yamaha Kodiak, and I don't really want to put it to the knife of plowing. I'm kind of hoping it can be a trail machine, get some cash, throw some good rubber on it, and maybe trail ride with it. It's got an axle weakness on it. It keeps burning through bearings, and I don't know why. So that's a problem, but I mean, I got it for the sweet price of free because my parents are getting rid of it, so. And my father is a mechanic who knows how to fix it, and I mean, the engine's rock solid. Will start in 10 below every time. Just that rear axle's fucky. It's the axle shaft or some part of the bearing in the axle connection that's fucked up. It just keeps ripping through bearings. And it's stuck in 4-wheel drive too, and new parts didn't fix that either, so it's just 4-wheel drive constantly, which kind of sucks for trail running. But, so my dad uses it as a plow machine. I'm going to probably use it as a wood mover and also to trail ride. Idea would be I'll probably get myself a dual sport 2-wheel something, and then wife will ride the Kodiak. But the question I keep asking myself is, should I have bought something a lot cheaper and save myself, a few $100,000, and then I could, actually homestead and farm and have equipment so that I could make money as a business, as a farm, but then not have a finished house, slowly build a house over time, live in a camper, live in a trailer. I don't know. So it's almost like, and I could borrow against the house, and buy that stuff, but then I'd have debt, and I am allergic to debt. I don't want any. I don't like being in relationships with banks, except for them paying me interest when I spend money, and them paying me interest when I keep money in their bank. So it's tough because I really want a tractor, and I really want a pickup truck. I really want a boat. I really want a bunch of tools, auto tools. I'd love to buy. I'd love to buy a shitload of crushed stone and lay it all around this foundation, and So, and if I just had heavy equipment, then I could use it as a business. Land clearing or just snow plowing with a truck, or mowing, or landscaping, or hauling shit for people, hauling scrap, doing dig jobs with an excavator. I'd feel like I could really run a profitable farm if I had $50,000 worth of equipment here, but I don't. And as it stands, I'd have to, go get $50,000 or borrow against the house. So now it's just, I'm faced with, well, it's tough to earn from the farm if I don't have the tools to market myself as a farmer. But I have the finished house, and it's really efficient, it's really well built, and that's done. And it felt lucky to find one that suited what I wanted, which was a lot of land, a small, efficient, energy-wise house, and a big garage in some proximity to Portland, so that if we want to go out to eat or do something fun, it's only about 45-50 minutes to Portland. We're in the Lakes region here in western Maine, so we're not super out of it, but we're not close enough to not see stars at night and whatnot. So I keep asking myself as I sit here looking at jobs and debating trying to get one and applying to some, and just thinking it's going to suck to go back to full-time work and working for somebody or working for some company, but that's the only way I'm gonna be able to buy a tractor without taking out a loan or something. So, I find myself looking at like a couple years out from being able to be as self-sufficient as I want to be, which is a bummer, especially, before I had this house, I had all this money, and, as a renter, I could have bought whatever I wanted, but now I'm sort of like, skip a trip and save for your tractor, Don't eat out because that's tractor money, which is good. I mean, but like, I can't very well. I mean, I got a chainsaw, I got the ATV, I got a trailer, I got the ability to make trails through my property, I got the ability to build campsites, but I can't move earth, so that's tough. I mean, it would just be so easy to have a bucket and like lift up a bridge and put it on the brook rather than trying to fucking drag it on sleds with an ATV. It'd be so easy to just. I wouldn't be buying an $80 broken snowblower if I had a tractor. I mean, maybe I would, but no, I'd just drive the tractor. Those things just keep running. I'm not worried about it like I have an ATV. I'd be buying chickens, and buying chicken feed and like just diving into that with some books and just being like, well, like if I lose some or something goes wrong, like I can afford to not fucking. I can afford to like lose a couple grand trying to make some money on chickens or just have chickens. That's fine. But now I don't feel like I want to or can, because if I lose a couple grand, my real only option is to jump in my car and drive to Portland and DoorDash or Uber Eats or something, unless I go out and get a 9-to-5 or find something. I mean, I can go work for there's Pinehurst Farm, but that's New Gloucester. That's 40 minutes from me. They're hiring drivers. I can try to do something remote here, project management wise. I've been trying to day trade, but that's risky. And if you don't have income and you lose money and you need money, that's risky. So I don't know. It's all an interesting way to look at it. It feels there's a level of comfort having the house and just knowing that, like, other than extras and like little things, that is done. And it's only a 4.5-year-old house, so I can just live here for 5-10 years and not really expect a massive expense to come along. But I want to have enough cash for that massive expense, and I have enough cash for, like, that's why I don't want to go any lower, and because if I did need $15,000 to fix something with my heating system, I have it, and I wouldn't have to go borrow that money. But I don't want to go too far below that buffer, so I got to break even. So my expenses are low, the house is efficient, but I got to break even, so I got to go out a couple of days a week, and I got to drive around, and that's eating up my car, and I don't like that. When I was in New Hampshire, I could just, from my couch, Uber, and it was easy money. It was easy money because I was near a bunch of restaurants, and I could do, like, dinner rush shift and make $200 in 6-7 hours. Now I gotta like make a day of it and drive to Portland, or else it's just not worth doing at all. And it doesn't really feel that worth doing now because I'm eating up my Toyota, but it's like the only thing I got, other than selling stuff I don't need, which I am doing. Um, I'm bad at that though. I'm just bad at getting rid of it because I feel like someday I might need it. But I'm selling some stuff on eBay again. But this is just pennies for like what, my monthly cost of living of, it's $1,000 a month for me. Just that's all. That's the most I'm really gonna spend without taking a vacation or anything or buying anything big. So I don't know. It's interesting. I watch some people who just got land and put like a $30,000 camper on it, and they're they bought an excavator and they're building a house, or they bought a couple tractors and a couple trucks and they're running trucks all winter and plowing snow, and they're like starting a fucking landscaping company. They bought a sawmill. They're milling wood. Like they're running a business, but they don't have a house, And I feel like I got a house, but I don't really have a business yet, and that's kind of where I'm at with it. But I feel good having the house, and I don't think my wife would have wanted to live in a camper, and I don't think that I really would have wanted to live in a camper. It's much nicer living in a house. So I'm not gonna just say that that's the way. If it's nice having a house, and just the headache for me of trying to build a house and work with a builder or something would have just been. I mean, I got all the pictures from the guy who built this house, and I saw the whole process. And while it seems fun and cool, and they could design it however they wanted, it's not. It's not for me at this time in my life. Maybe someday, but not right now. I'm happy to just buy what he built, and just not have to do that, and then focus on the other stuff. For me, building the business seems like a much easier task than building the house. Just cooking through my brain ideas for the business, and I think number one thing right now is get some food growing so that we have less of a grocery store bill, and maybe get involved in the farmers markets in some way, trying to make compost and compost tea and fertilizers, and then maybe do some storage, maybe do some campsites. That's the next big thing, is like getting power to like a couple of cleared out areas on the property so people could park campers and camp, building like little fire pits and campsites, getting them power runs and water runs and stuff. So that'll be an easy, like, just money coming from just, okay, come on in, plug in, okay, here's the rules, yeah, a couple $100 a night, camp here, hang out at the lakes, park your boat, cheaper than being on the water. If we can get a setup for wedding venues, that'll be good money, but that'll be a lot to get good. We shall see, but right now it's just like scrape together every dime and get it into finishing, this shit. My wife has a master's degree in interpreting, and she makes good money, but we split everything 50-50. We always have, so I gotta pull my weight financially, and so I don't want to hold what she wants to do back because I'm like, oh, let's not buy something, I don't have any cash. So it's tough, but I'm figuring it out, and probably just end up getting a job or something, but we'll see. But if you do know of a cheap, affordable tractor, hit me up. I'm looking for something with an excavator on it. Honestly, I don't want to buy one that doesn't have an excavator. So I need PTO, I need hydraulics, and I'm not gonna buy one that's fucking 60 years old either. I don't have the tools or the knowledge really to fuck with that stuff. I just want, a $25,000 like 10-year-old Kubota that has an excavator and not that many hours on it. And I just will have that till I fucking die with minimal maintenance. So the guy who built this place had one, and he fucking built this place with it. And he had a big ass truck, and he had a big ass trailer, and he had a sawmill, and he made wood, and he fucking was building sheds, and had a remodeling company. So it's pretty cool. Living in his shadow, trying to be him, and his wife. His wife had the garden going, and had the chicken dream and built the chicken shed and stuff. So we'll get there. It's just going in this direction of build the business and find the job to get the cash to fund it, rather than this direction of, okay, you got the business, now build the home to live in. So, anyways, we'll get there. But if y'all want to let me know what you think, and if y'all want to hook me up with somebody selling a tractor, Kubota with an excavator. Doesn't have to be Kubota, but I like the Kubotas. I like red. So, anyway, catch you on the next one.